Good morning, Huntington North. I'm Sydney Taylor.
And I'm Emma Richard, and this is HNHS Today for Wednesday, September 24th.
We were hoping for you to see us a few weeks ago, but our studio was getting an upgrade.
But now that it's finished, it's good to be back, and hopefully you'll see us here every week.
While the new equipment is exciting for the TV crew, the new school year has brought some new faces to HNHS, which is exciting for all of us.
We were able to catch up with a few of those new teachers.
I can't even answer that question. Not much, and most of what I listen to is I don't pay attention to the titles. I would go to the past and fix some things. I would make some different choices. Probably to go snowboarding in Turkey again. Last spring I snowboarded in Turkey and Azerbaijan.
So this is an easy one. Mr. Park and I have been to 14 different countries and all 50 states, but one country we haven't been to is Ireland. So definitely that's at the top of our bucket list right now. I would love to go to Ireland. So just this last summer, I read The Relentless Pursuit of Hurry, and it's a wonderful book, highly recommend it. It talks about how in society we are always in a rush and what we need to do about that to slow down a little bit. Okay, so Mr. Park and I wanted to go whitewater rafting, and I was terrified. It was on my bucket list. This last summer, we went down a 6-foot waterfall on a whitewater raft, and I survived, and that was absolutely the most exciting thing I've done on my bucket list.
If I could have any superpower, it would probably be teleportation, just because I want to be able to travel wherever I want, whenever I want. My favorite movie would have to be The Hunger Games. As English teacher, kind of a little bit of a Hunger Games nerd, but I probably watch the series at least 4 times a year. Favorite season would have to be summer or fall, just because I like when it's warm and I can do all my summer activities, but I also like when I can break my sweatshirts back out again.
Along with Mr. Thompson, Dr. Park, and Miss Pearson, be sure to welcome Mrs. Penner and Mr. Ruby in the math department, and Coach Andrews in the health and PE department.
As most of us know, it's homecoming week. You may have missed out on the themes earlier this week, but you still have a couple days left to show your school spirit.
Tomorrow is Duo Day, so pick someone to twin with, and Friday is Viking Apparel Day, so break out your red, black, and white.
Don't forget to vote on Canvas for this year's Homecoming King and Queen. Voting opens tomorrow morning and closes at 2:30 on Friday.
Finally, come out to the homecoming parade and football game Friday evening. The results for King and Queen race will be announced at halftime.
Congratulations to the Marching Vikes as they continue to move up in the rankings. They placed 4th at Carroll over the weekend and were first in visual effects.
Also, over the weekend, the HNHS JROTC Raider teams competed at the inaugural Jay County Raider Tournament. Huntington North's A team placed second in all events, which included the gauntlet, cross-country recovery, the physical team test, the one-rope bridge, and the 5K run.
Due to a limited number of cadets, the HNHS B team joined forces with select members of Evansville, Jay County, and Warren Central. The joint team placed 3rd in the all-male category. This weekend, the Raider teams will travel to Hobart High School to compete. With all this talk about competition, let's go to Preston and Cohen with sports.
Thanks, guys. The football team picked up its second consecutive win at Belmont Friday, topping the Braves 42-12. The Vikings picked up 353 yards of total offense, including 214 through the air from Lathan James. Jimmy Linker was on the receiving end of 109 of those. Sawyer Carl churned out 95 yards on the ground.
Devin caught up with Coach Eschbach and some of the Vikings to take a look at this season.
Last fall was a season for the record books as the Huntington North Vikings lifted a sectional trophy for the first time since 1993. The Vikes will look to build upon that success this season, but they also know there will be positions to fill following the graduation of some key seniors, including quarterback Tony Decker. Based on returning personnel, Coach Eschbach is optimistic heading into the season.
We did have several seniors that graduated last year, I think, that we need to replace. But our JV team was undefeated last year. We feel like we've worked hard in the weight room. We've done some things the right way. We've got some young guys ready to step up. So our goals and expectations are the same going in this year as what we had last year. So certainly they're going to be tough to replace, but every coach, every team is trying to figure that out right now. But I definitely like where we're at.
At the heart of the offense is returning receiver James Linker. Now a senior, Linker had some of his biggest catches in the sectional last season and is expected to lead a balanced attack on offense.
We have a lot of guys that are going to step up and be great role players that are going to fill those guys' spots and be able to keep us on track for maybe another sectional win, go to regional, same thing. But hopefully, yeah, we have guys that will step up into those spots, and I don't think we're losing as much as it sounds.
Along with the downfield attack led by Linker and Eric Fry, the Vikings will be led by a rebuilt offensive line and junior running back Christian Jemison. The Vikings offense isn't just about firepower, it's about versatility.
I wanted to make a leadership role, leap in the leadership role by just setting an example for my teammates and just working hard in the weight room and just being consistent at practice and showing my all and my effort.
On defense, the Vikings are anchored by linebacker Mason Petak. With a strong defensive front and speed in the secondary, Coach Eschbach says this unit could be the X factor coming into this season.
Our goal is to win the conference. Our goal is to win a sectional, and at that point we reevaluate. But it would certainly be nice, but it's not something that we look at and say, okay, if we don't win a state championship, it's not going to be a good season. Everybody wants to get there. There's 64 teams in our class, and certainly that should be 64 teams' goals, but that's not our end goal.
The Vikes looking to keep this team ahead moving on to DeKalb Friday, asking anybody in the camp. The Vikings are ready to flip the script. The lights are bright, and Vikes are looking to keep the hopes high this season. I'm Devin Redden for HNHS Today.
The Vikings will look to continue their winning ways when they host DeKalb for homecoming on Friday. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. The volleyball team picked up a 5-set win Thursday at Columbia City. Sophie Michael led the Vikes with 10 kills. Grace Anderson, Haley Hurdle, and Maya Ozroth each had a pair of aces. The Vikings returned to action at DeKalb last night. We'll have those results next week. The boys soccer team fell at Leo 8-0 Monday night. Micah Rankenberger had 10 saves in goal for the Vikes. The Vikings will return to action tonight when they host Eastburg. The varsity match is set for 7 p.m. The girls soccer team fell 3-1 at Oak Hill Monday night. Hannah Skiles had the Vikings' lone goal. The Vikes were back in action last night against Leo and will travel to Fort Wayne at 6 p.m. tonight. The boys' cross-country team placed 9th out of 17 teams Saturday at the Flash Rock Invitational. Caleb Thiem paced the Vikings, finishing 24th with a time of 17:54. The boys and girls cross-country teams will compete in the New Haven Invitational Saturday at the Huntington University cross-country course. The girls' golf team season came to an end Saturday with a 6th-place finish at the Eastburg Sectional at Arbor Trace Golf Club. Kylie Gamlin carded an 89 to lead the Vikings, while Paisley Updike finished with a 96. Maggie Mickley tallied at 105, and Maddie Smith finished with a 113. Finally, the boys' tennis team swept Mississinawa on Monday. Mason Klein, Braden Meyer, and Isaiah Bordeaux all earned wins in singles play, while the doubles teams of Peyton Huff and Eli Carter and Noah Bollinger and Aaron Grogg also won. The Vikings were in action last night at Norwell, and they'll host Bluffton at 5 p.m. tonight. The Vikes will wrap up their regular season tomorrow when they host Columbia City. That's it for sports this week. Let's go back to the desk.
Thanks, guys.
High Hopes Huntington North Suicide Prevention Group meets every Tuesday during study hall in Mr. Villanueva's room, room 209. All students interested in suicide prevention are welcome. All Hope in the Middle students from Crestview and Riverview are encouraged to attend.
Walkaway meets every Tuesday in the Locking Lounge after school. Walkaway is an after-school walking program that is open to all students. Whether you're looking to get more physically fit or decrease stress and improve mental health, Walkaway is for you. Join them every Tuesday or drop in whenever you need a boost during your week.
We opened the show by introducing you to some new teachers in the building, but the new teachers aren't the only newcomers at HNHS.
Every school year, a class of freshmen are welcomed into the high school, and some of them are nervous about attending a building with nearly 1,400 students.
Braxton reached out to some upperclassmen who have figured some things out in their time at the high school to see what advice they have for freshmen.
Hey Vikings, today we're going to be asking our senior class for some advice for the incoming freshmen.
Find a group of people that you enjoy being with, because if you don't have something to do after school sometimes and you're just going home every day, it's going to be pretty boring if you're doing 4 years of that.
Some of my advice to the freshman class is to just be yourself and be open to new friendships. Coming into high school, it's a lot different than middle school, and there's a lot of changes. And you might not see your friends from middle school as much, or you might just feel like they're becoming a different person. So definitely stay open to new friendships and just be yourself. You'll find your people.
My advice would probably be don't get involved in drama, and PDA is a no-go in the hallways.
A piece of advice I'd have for freshmen would be to get involved with whatever things you like doing, if that's like sports or art. Just, get involved. You'll make a bunch of friends and make a lot of memories. Thanks, class of 2026. Now let's go back to the desk.
That's all we have for this week.
Have a great week, Vikings, and you'll see us next week.
They say the holy water's watered down, and this town's lost its faith. Our colors will fade eventually, so if our time is running out, day after day, we'll make the mundane our masterpiece. Oh my love, I take one look at you, you're taking me out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down till we're dead and buried on the edge of your